Sarah, these standalone episodes are some of the fans' favorites. Can you talk to us a little bit about what's the process like to film one of these? Like, how many days does it take? What goes on set and during those standalone episodes?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Because we were shooting them concurrently with the season. So we shot episode 8 or 9, and then we went off with Kevin to shoot episode 16 while all the rest of these guys were shooting episode 10 or 11 or something. So we were shooting with the Scandal crew. We were with a completely different crew in a completely different set. On location, we were in the mountains, and it really did feel like we were shooting a movie. It was really neat to get the chance to kind of get out of the hospital and follow just one specific story all the way through to the end. Because we got the opportunity to really take time to listen. So much happened in the silence in that episode, which we just don't have the luxury for when we're servicing so many different storylines. So it was really amazing. It was such a fun experience.
All right, Sarah, let's talk about that Jackson and April hookup. Do you think... Do you think the two of them should and can make it work?
Sorry, do you think we can make it work?
Yeah, do you think you can make it work?
Yes! No. I honestly think, the main takeaway from that experience in Montana is that these two people, there's so much love there, there's so much respect there, they know each other so well. Whether it continues and moves towards romance or stays platonic, we know for sure that these two are going to be okay, and that they're going to always depend on one another, and that they will always be one another's person. So I think at the end of the day, it's very hopeful. It's very hopeful. Everything is hopeful. And it could lead to romance. Who knows? We can't say anything.
I want to turn to a romance that isn't going as well. Kevin, how does it feel to be watching Owen go through his biggest nightmare again, that he's marrying a woman who doesn't necessarily want to have kids?
You know, poor Owen. Poor Owen. He desperately wants a baby, and it's the only thing he wants. And she just changed her mind. No, I mean, I think Owen's really struggling. You know, he's a very tortured guy, and I think he thinks the thing that's going to fix him is to have a family with this beautiful woman, played by Katerina Scorsese. But she doesn't want to right now, so I don't know what to say. I mean, he's kind of waiting, and he loves her, and he's tortured, and we'll see what happens, you know?
You also you're a veteran director of Grey's Anatomy, I believe 14 episodes. Is there a scene or an episode that stands out for you?
I think the episode that just aired last week, the Montana episode, I was so proud of Jesse and Sarah and everything, the work that they did. And, you know, my approach with it was, I had this feeling that I started out in sort of independent cinema before any of this kind of American side of life started for me. And I love it, don't get me wrong. But when I read that script, I really was, I wanted it to feel like an independent movie, you know, but a really high-end quality independent movie. Not a bad one where you can't hear the sound, you know, the lighting's terrible. So but that was my approach. I just wanted to give, and also Sarah just spoke beautifully there about, I was like, wow, this is actually an opportunity to tell one story instead of 7, which is normally our show. And so I really encourage the actors, I think, to just be as brave with listening and being as silent and let those silences last for as long as they want. And I think it turned into something beautiful.
Great. Katerina, yes. Katerina, I want to turn to you. I mean, the simple question would be, Amelia's had a very rough season. What's the toughest part of playing her? But I want to flip that, actually, and ask, what do you admire most about her?
I think, Amelia has been hit so many times by life, from private practice to Grey's Anatomy, and even before. And in her backstory, even on Private Practice, I mean, her large-scale tragedy started when she was 5 years old, and they just kept coming. And she's a character who, through the most dire circumstances, has managed to pick herself up off the ground every time, and has continued in a way that tries to be of service. She's trying to save lives. She's trying to bring life to people, though life has been taken from her so many times. And so to play someone with that much heart and tenacity, who can kind of pick herself up, it's an honor. Yeah.
All right. We are going to turn to a lightning round.
What's
We're
that?
going to turn to a lightning round. So I'm going to go down. Jerica, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to go all the way down the row. You're each going to get a question either from me or from a fan, and the first thing that comes, you have to say the first thing that comes in your mind.
This is dangerous.
I promise. And you can take if it's really bad, you can take a pass. But I think you'll be.
If we pass, do we then get another question, or we pass completely?
I'll give you another question.
Another question.
Unless you want to pass completely. These rules are very, very loose. All right, Jerica, I'm going to start with you. Who among you would be most likely to be a doctor in real life?
Lightning round. Lightning.
Oh, sorry. Lightning round. I'm not good at this. Pressure. Chandra. I'm looking at Chandra. I'm gonna say Chandra.
Great.
Terrible.
Katerina, who is most like his or her character?
Oh gosh. Oh, who's most like his or her character?
We're failing at lightning.
No, this is, I wanted the first question.
All right, who's most likely to be a doctor? And who's most likely to be a doctor?
Kelly McCreary.
Yeah.
Me? Yeah.
Kevin, who do you wish you had more scenes with?
Any of the men. Any of the men. Because they never put us in scenes together. They sort of dole us out around the episode. So whenever I have a scene with a guy, I'm like, oh my God.